time, I'm going to ask Senator Frischella to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to approve last meeting's minutes?
so moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Last meeting's minutes are approved. Is there approval of the agenda? I would like to make an amendment to the agenda to move items A, E, F, and G and consider them as read and move them to old business. Without objection, so moved. Good evening, everyone. I have a couple things I would like to go over real quick, and then we're going to keep moving here. I know I appreciate everyone's patience, specifically those of you that are not a part of the Senate, for allowing us a few moments to take care of this important thing. Part of the thing to keep in mind with the photos, not only your individual one, but the group photo, is we started, one of the things when I became speaker is starting a historical placement of these photos on the walls in our offices, and that way for years now, even now, 3 years now, we have pictures, and some of them I've already started to create names and things, so it's definitely good to be able to go back and look at that, and keep in mind that that'll be something hopefully hanging on the walls at this university for many, many, many years. So thank you tonight for your patience, and I appreciate the fact that we were able to get this done early enough and with a full enough schedule that it was worthwhile. A couple things I'm going to talk about real briefly is, first and foremost, we talked about last week the sexual assault that happened on campus last Friday. I have a composite here for you. I'd like to pass this around, and if you would like, we'll have copies for you. The young lady, our fellow Husky that was assaulted last Friday, was assaulted by, this is the police sketch that was done. So if you would like, I'm going to pass this around, you can look at this, and maybe we can get some, I met with the police chief on Friday, and they still have no leads on the suspect, so it's very important that I'm going to pass this around. Please take a look at it, and if you'd like copies, that's what we can get that to you as well. The next thing I'd like to talk about is probably the hardest. As all of you know, we had a fellow Husky who died this past Friday. Anytime we talk about the death or loss of a student here on our campus, it's done in a somber way, and it is always a reality shock for us, and specifically in our own mortality. Being young and youthful, we look at the fact that we have our whole lives ahead of us, specifically those that are even 10 years younger probably than I am. But it's always a difficult thing, no matter what the circumstances, is to lose someone young and full of energy and full of life. And without going to specifics, we'll start seeing more and more as the days and weeks and months go by, and we'll have plenty of time to reevaluate things. But one of the things I'm going to talk about this evening is, and I met this afternoon with the Greek Affairs Committee, and I thank Senator Zanyet for his leadership in that committee and the members of that committee, is specifically, I'm going to speak to the members of Greek Row, known as Northwest Corridor. Members of the Greek community on our campus, whether it be people in a home that have a house, a Greek house, or those that are just in a Greek organization that are a collection of students. It's important as students and as student leaders that you police yourselves. It's important that you hold each other accountable. It's important that you take care of each other. One of the things I think we're going to find through this, and without going too much into it, is we're going to find that there's going to be a little more difficult, or a little more stringent rules probably that'll come from this, and procedures. But one of the things I challenged that organization this afternoon was, and I challenge all of you that are in the Greek community and those that live all across campus, whether it be the residence halls, in Northwest Corridor, over in Echo Park, whatever it is to take care of yourselves. Ensure that you're making sure that people are doing okay. To say people should not underage drink, to say people shouldn't party, to say people shouldn't do this or that, I think is unrealistic. We'd like to see it done less, but it's always how you handle yourselves and how you take care of each other. And one of the things that came up with the bystander intervention training was part of this is to take care of each other. I might not know you, but I have a common bond with you. And if I think something's wrong with you, I'm going to take that to heart and I'm going to do what I can. That's what our motto should be. And that it's all surreal, in my opinion, on how this is all coming together. We've talked about the bystander intervention. We've talked about the amnesty policy, and all these things kind of correlate down to the fact that we need to take care of each other. I've asked Senator Zania to work even closer and work diligently to get both the bison intervention training done. I hope all of you have either started making the necessary movement to take that course or are going to after tonight, and also to work on the amnesty policy. The amnesty policy. We've had multiple complaints from students that at the hospital, Kishwaukee Hospital, there's a state police officer that's stationed there, and that people are afraid of taking students to the hospital out of fear of being persecuted or prosecuted if they're found to be underage drinking or maybe illegal drugs are involved or whatever that is. The bottom line is there's a police action that comes with anything, of course, if you're breaking the law, but that's not what our concern should be. Our concern is to take care of each other. If you feel someone is hurting, if someone is in pain, if someone is suffering, if someone is sick, no matter the circumstances, you need to do what you need to do to get that person to the hospital or stay home. Plain and simple. There should be no question. If you have a problem, if you heard about the things, I want to hear about it. If people are afraid of calling the police or calling 911 because of, I'm underage drinking and I don't want to get in trouble, we need to know about that. We need to do what we can to make sure that people understand that the ultimate thing is to keep people safe and to keep our students healthy. So that's very, very, very important. It's a sad day. It was a somber day yesterday at the football game. We did win 63-0. Go Huskies. But I think it's always unfortunate to have to sit here and discuss the loss of a student, and especially one with so much future ahead of them. So without going any more into detail, I want to ask your assistance. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. we are going to have a meeting in the Student Association office to plan the memorial that we're going to do on campus on Wednesday. It'll be Wednesday at 4 p.m. in the Carl Sandburg Auditorium. I would like as much help. Specifically, we need people on Wednesday to help with distributing things and being helpful in getting the space set up for that event. So anyone that can help, please do. See me after if you are interested in either attending tomorrow and helping out with that, or helping out on Wednesday with just being boots on the ground, helping in that way. But at this time, we don't have the resolution done, and we will do one. We always have when we lose a Husky. But at this time, I would ask that we take a moment of silence just to reflect on both this young man, David, and also just on each other, that we take care of each other, and in his honor, we take tonight to take a stand to take care of each other. So I would ask at this time we take a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Moving on to another thing I wanted to discuss with you briefly, and that is an article that came up on Friday in the Daily Chronicle. I've talked a lot this year about holding the administration accountable. I've talked a lot about how there needs to be some change here at our university, and this, I spoke with a number of people yesterday, and it's very disheartening. Of course, again, we don't know all the facts and don't want to presume guilt until we find out for sure, but what I'm referring to is last year, unfortunately, we had an officer who's been accused, not found guilty, but accused of sexual assault on a student, police officer at University. And on Friday, it came out in the paper that there was some issues with evidence concealment and things like that. What I would say to you as student leaders and looking at what we need to do regarding kind of holding the university's feet to the fire is to demand better. This is the second time now that we have an instance where the police department, the NIU police department, who we all know many officers on force and they are top notch. But there have been a lot of areas where it's questionable of overstepping boundaries. And this particularly, besides the evidence issue, is the fact that if you have an officer in your force that has been accused of a crime, we're not talking about like there was a alleged maybe a breaking of a policy or something like that, but a crime that has committed a crime. Look across the board at what most most departments would do, and most agencies, they would not do the investigation because of the connection with that person. They would ask an outside authority, an outside agency to do the investigation. The thing that happened recently with the coffee fund, that was an internal thing that the university police handled. They handled well to my knowledge, but still leaves a lot of area for question. And when you have the police chief that reports to the executive vice president, who reports to the president, doing investigation on other people within the same division, that's a problem. And I think we need to continue to bring up this point that there needs to be maybe some changes in leadership at the top regarding some of these things. That it's just over and over and over again, we've had questionable judgment from people that are paid heavily, have large amounts of staff and resources at their hands, and at the end of the day, students are being served in that capacity when those things happen. So I bring this up not as let's talk about it, think about it, but I do want you to keep that in mind. The article's online. You can read it for yourself and come to your own conclusions, but we need to demand better. It is time to demand better from the university, and that they need to make decisions that are in the best interest of all, not just of self-preservation. So with that, I end. Again, if you would like to help out with Wednesday's memorial, please see me afterwards, either for the meeting tomorrow or for Wednesday. I really, really, really would like all of you to be there, one, but if you can help them also, that would be greatly appreciated. Do you have any questions for me at this time? Do we have any committee reports? Senator Clark.
The Mass Transit Board, we met on Wednesday, and Tuesday night we found out that there's a $70,000 budget cut for the bus system. And so we went over a lot of different route changes, and I'd be willing to stay after if anybody would like to know about them, but I don't really want to go into big details right now. But we talked about a lot of different route changes. Nothing's been set, and we also have a meeting on Wednesday again to talk about it.
Does anyone have any questions for Senator Clark? Okay. Any other committee reports? Senator Zanya.
I was asked to take over from Kelsey Shockey today. He's out of town. Sergeant at Arms. The dress seems appropriate, obviously, because we had the picture. The big thing is he wanted me to re-emphasize that cell phones are not allowed in Senate. You take them out, you'll be asked to leave. He's tired of giving out warnings, so do not use your cell phone for any reason. Putting on my other hat for the night is Greek Affairs. We met today, set a meeting because of the recent events. Without getting into too much detail, we talked about how we can combat binge drinking in this university. We set up a plan, and we will have more details for you in the coming next week. The bystander intervention training is November 13th. Please write that down. I urge all of you to go to that program. It is a wonderful program that helps you, that will help you be able to avoid something that happened in the past week. Something that will help you avoid an event that happened way too many times on this campus. November 13th is the date. Please come talk to me if you'd like to attend. Thank you.
You yield? Any other committee? Senator Leo.
Nothing on plus minus. In response to the veto from University Council, I went back to the Undergraduate Coordinating Council, and I went there on Thursday, I believe, to discuss the argument that it did not have enough student input and that it would be addressed further. What happened after that, we don't know yet. We don't know if this is going to, if they approved it and if they sent it to University Council this Wednesday. If they did that, we're reviewing our options as to where to go from there. Or they went with the other option and they agreed that there wasn't enough student input on new changes to plus minus and that it needs to be discussed further and sent it back to APAS. We don't know yet. We'll know by tomorrow what their response was and what our plan is going to be in addressing plus minus in the next couple of weeks. That I yield.
Any other committee reports? Moving on, at this time I ask President Delonte LaFleur to approach the dais.
Good evening, Senators. Good evening. I came to you guys to issue your experiencing a lot of things this year. We're dealing with budget issues, we're dealing with perception of violence, we're dealing with multiple things happening that's why I'm calling together tonight on behalf of the students, as the student body presidents, to call on you guys to assist in helping spread the word about the body statement intervention and work with other students to encourage them to take ownership of their their own actions, and also for us to, as leaders, to make sure that we're displaying this at all times. Also, you guys, I'm going to be calling on your help, because right now we're facing some financial situations with the SA bus routes, and we're going to have to look at doing some cuts which are going to really affect and make some students upset. But we have to be able to take these steps in order to looking good for the next year. All of this is due to enrollment being down, and we have to come up with, universities are coming up with ways to try to increase enrollment. One of the initiatives they're trying to do is, for this Thanksgiving weekend, is for students where we have pre-made gift bags and with information about the university. And students, whoever wants to volunteer, can maybe take some bags back to their particular high school and give it to their different students there, their counselors, and try to build a relationship with the students with their respective high schools to come back to get students to come to NIU. And so that's one way that we can help out with the issues that we're going through is with enrollment, not doing that. Another way is that they're also going to be looking at ways to get students to go out and to do recruitment for different universities, different high schools. So if you guys are interested in participating in recruitment efforts, please see me. But again, I want you guys to understand that this, again, reminds us of our role as student leaders, not just being elected and holding these positions, but actually the work that we put behind it. And so this year, we're going to work on collaborative efforts to really show that we're really representing the students on all efforts in all areas. So if you have any questions for me, please see me afterwards. I'm always willing to sit down and work and hear out any issues. If you guys have any ways, any ideas of ways for us to, number one, address our issues that's happening on campus, two, look at ways for teaching and recruitment, and three, ways to just to best service, enhance the quality of the student out here. Please let me know. That's what you're here for, to get information from your different areas. Bring those ideas and that information back so we can continue to work with this. Are there any questions for me?
At this time, with the organization UNICEF Campus Initiative, please approach the dais.
Good evening. My name is Matea Pajek. I'm currently a sophomore and a history and political science major and president of UNICEF Campus Initiative. UNICEF Campus Initiative allows students to be an active participant in with UNICEF's life-saving work. UNICEF stands for United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. And specifically for the United States, there is a U.S. fund for UNICEF, which works more specifically with the United States and their efforts to help with UNICEF's life-saving work. UNICEF has a Believe in Zero campaign that is the core of UNICEF and something that we really wish to bring to the students at NIU, which is the belief that there should be zero preventable deaths, there should be zero starving children, there should be zero exploited children, there should be zero children denied of an education, and there should be zero children deprived of water all over the world. Now, specifically, the UNICEF Campus Initiative is broken into three parts: education, advocacy, and fundraising. In education, we educate fellow UNICEF Campus Initiative members, the campus community, and as well as the overall community of DeKalb about what UNICEF does, the life-saving work, the different programs, and the different fundraising events that UNICEF holds throughout the year. This can be done through international dinners, movies, discussions, or even lectures, and we hope to eventually bring outside speakers to come who have more knowledge in these certain things, and to really bring the knowledge to the students so that they know what's going on around the world. Advocacy is broken up into two parts. There's educational advocacy, which is the core of advocacy in the UNICEF Campus Initiative, and that's just raising awareness to the students. This can be done by chalking the sidewalks, as every other organization on campus does, but more so chalking facts and information about, the kids that are starving, the kids who don't have water, and all those types of things. And then political advocacy, which is communicating with public officers to help public policies be put in place that can help UNICEF and that can help all those other children throughout the world that need our help. And finally, there's fundraising. UNICEF has 2 major fundraisers that it does throughout the year, and that's Trick or Treat for UNICEF, which you guys might remember when you were little and you get the little boxes and you knock on doors, get candy, and ask for money for UNICEF at the same time. And then there's the Tap Water Project, which is a whole week-long event in the spring where you just gather up money, and there's a certain, restaurants take part in it, and a certain percentage of every meal goes to the Tap Project, which helps give clean water to the children and the people who don't have clean water throughout the world. And there are also a multitude of different ways that one can fundraise throughout the year, because the main goal is to help UNICEF make those life-changing events happen to those children. And UNICEF Campus Initiative should be a part of the NIU campus because there's nothing like it. There's nothing that deals with international relations and issues. There's nothing that deals with children who need our help. And you always see the commercials of the children on TV, and you always want to help, but you can't because you can't pay that 10 cents a day. But this way you can pay that $1 to buy a baked good, or you can pay a certain amount of money to go see a benefit concert. And you can make that one small change, and you can change one child's life just by doing one small act. And with UNICEF, you're saving children all around the world. You're not just saving, one child in Africa. You could be saving a child who's been harmed by Hurricane Sandy, as we just experienced this past week in the United States. This is not only helping children in Africa and Asia, it's helping children all over the world. And with UNICEF Campus Initiative, it is not just a commitment to the organization on our campus. This is a commitment that students would be making to the U.S. Fund for UNICEF and to UNICEF in general. And that is a really strong commitment, and that'll definitely make people feel like they're really a part of something bigger than just getting an education, that they're a part of something that can really change the world. And currently we have sent in our application to UNICEF to be recognized through them, but since the U.S. Fund for UNICEF got hit by the hurricane, their offices are currently closed, so we are unsure as to when we will be fully recognized by them, but they would like us to be recognized completely by the university before they give us full recognition. And that's it, thank you.
Any questions? Thank you, Ms. Adele. Is there any discussion or debate on this topic? Seeing none, I'll call a vote. All those in favor of approving SAB 44014 say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, this motion is passed. Would members or representatives of the organization Interactive Marketing Board please approach the dais? I apologize, I'm actually on the wrong thing. Members of NIU Racquetball Club, please approach the dais.
Hi, my name is Amanda Hayes, and I'm currently a sophomore here, and I'm majoring in Family Child Studies. And I am going to be president of the NIU Racquetball Club. As I was trying to get this passed with the vice president, I learned that there was a racquetball club many years ago that kind of fell through the cracks. And in order for that to not happen again, one of the first steps that I'm going to take is I am the president, and then I also run a treasurer. And I left the vice president spot open because I want to bring on a freshman or more of the undergraduate, like younger people, so that way to keep this club going for as long as I can and way after I graduate. Anybody can be a member of this club, any NIU student who can get into the rec center. And one of the reasons why I wanted to make this club are just unsure, like they don't want to ask, they're too scared, and everybody always wants somebody to play. It's more fun. And sorry. Another reason is because like it's a sport that I'm very passionate about, and it's a sport that I'm very passionate about, and I would like to get NIU students involved in the club, and also any skill level can join. It's I have people who would like to join who range from not even knowing how to play the game to people who play in national tournaments with ISRA Rifle Association. And so basically, I would just like to make this club happen at NIU. Thank you.
Great. Any questions for this particular motion? Senator Smith, please take a microphone.
With this club, will you guys be competing?
As of right now, no, because I want to get the club going again because it fell through the cracks before. Hopefully down the line, I can see and research what other schools have clubs and kind of compete with them. But as of right now, no, and just trying to generate members.
Okay, and are you looking for any finances from SA?
No.
Okay, I yield.
Senator Fullilove.
Currently, how many members do you have interested?
About 10 people that I know.
Anyone else? Seeing none, you may step down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion or debate on this bill? Seeing none, I'll call a vote. All those in favor of approving SAB 44010 say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, this motion passes. At this time, I would ask any members representing the organization Almost Rockwell to please approach the dais.
Greetings. I'm Kim here. I'm a first-year law student here, president of Almost Rockwell. You might not be able to tell from the name of our group, but we do comedy improv. So if anybody's ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway? We're not exactly like them. We're not middle-aged men who are sometimes balding, but
Hey now.
I'm just saying we're generally funny people, but we are too. We are a restrictive group in that we are audition-based because we want the best for NIU, and we'd like to be a jewel in the crown of NIU's university-ness. We have plans to hold monthly shows open to everybody, free for everybody. We would love to co-host with UNICEF and donation drives and stuff. Really, we're just a group about having fun and learning how to improv, and hopefully we'll talk to other students who don't know how to improv and start teaching, and so everybody can have fun. So please allow us to be a group. Thank you.
Any questions? Senator Domke.
Would the tryouts at least be open to all NIU students?
Yes, we had tryouts this semester before, they were a couple of weeks ago. We posted some posters, gathered some interest. We are at 5 members right now because we wanted to stay small, but it's open to anybody. Right now, I said we want to be restrictive just to get on our feet, and because we know we can't get funding for another couple of years. So we'd like to start small, build a nice base of people who really know what they're doing, and hopefully in the next couple of years become not restrictive and have like an A team of performers, but practice open to anybody who wants to take part.
Thank you. No further questions.
Senator Adetuji.
Is there a GPA qualification?
We'd like you to be passing classes, but no.
Any other questions? I have one. As a almost in this university middle-aged bald man, and I'm automatically accepted into the group. Any other questions? You may sit down. That was awkward. Any discussion or debate on this topic? Seeing none, I'll call a vote. All those in favor of approving SAB 44011, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Seeing none, this bill has passed. Would members of the organization Powerlifting Club please approach the dais? And just so you know, this is not the band Mumford and Sons, like I was confused about. See, I'm funny. Line it up here.
What's going on, everybody? Today we are here looking for recognition for a powerlifting club here at NIU. We are looking for like-minded individuals such as ourselves to improve overall strength and stamina and promote good health. The club consists of 3 major lifts or competitive lifts. That would be the bench press, squat, and deadlift. And these lifts being competitive, we're eventually looking for intramural competition between other schools so that we could represent NIU in a positive way. We're looking for a minimum 2.0 GPA for members to join, and then board members are they need 2.5 GPA and 75% attendance rating. And then Chase right here, my vice president, is a certified personal trainer. So
yeah, like you said, I'm the co-president and instructor of the powerlifting club, and I have certification through the NSCA. And my main purpose, I need 100% attendance rating because as of right now, I'm the only certified person in the club. And I'm pretty much responsible for the safety and overviewing of everyone, making sure that their form is correct so that we can keep injuries to a minimal and hopefully none. And I talked with Eric Apia at the rec center. He's in charge of personal training, and so if we have any injuries occur, that weight belts will be required at all meetings and any time that we do any sort of lifting. And we have that in place. And I also create the workout formats for each of our meetings that we're going to be lifting in, and I make sure that those are followed by the correct guidelines, ramifications, and that, like I said, emphasizing correct form to ensure safety for all of our members.
And then one more thing, I'm sure you'll all go to rec center and everything, and as you can tell, like weightlifting is a popular fad right now. So I think NIU definitely has room for a club of this nature, as a positive outlet for people who are trying to lift, and meet new people and network themselves. So, thank you.
Any questions? Senator Allen.
Because since you're the only one that's certified, if you're not there to attend the meeting, will the weightlifting still take place?
We hadn't discussed that. We just said that I needed to be at every meeting. So until that point, I'm not exactly sure on that answer. We might be able to, I'm sure Tony could go up to the front desk, and if there's any trainers on staff at the moment that would be interested in joining in with us, that they would be able to oversee it and make sure that everything's being done correctly. And I could talk to Eric about that.
Do you yield? Senator Frank?
I go to the rec, and I noticed that the weightlifting room is often rather packed. How do you go around having practices there and making sure everyone gets the proper equipment to use in that time?
Our meetings are actually early morning, 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. It's before any classes would take place. I'm still giving time to get to the 8 a.m. class, so we have that. And it's generally pretty empty at that time. We're in the side room with the 2 power cages. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that, but it's generally pretty empty. And also, if we have, they know that we'll be in that room, the rec center does, and we've let them know that if anyone is in there lifting, that they're able to work in with us. And so we just will share if people are in there lifting at that time.
And then the meetings being at 6:30 in the morning, that's also going to help weed out some of the people that are that have joined but are more lighthearted into it and are necessarily there for the right reasons, the reasons to eventually compete in intramural weightlifting.
I yield.
Any other questions? Senator Beltran.
You're saying you're the only one certified at the moment. Are you eventually looking down the road to certifying more members or getting them to where they can become certified?
Yes, we are. A few of the people are exercise science majors, as myself, and many of their personal goals are to be certified, and I am absolutely available to give them tips and pointers on how to go about doing that in a good manner and getting that done. So that is another goal that hopefully people could be like inspired to help others achieve their fitness goals, like I'll kind of be doing there in a sense, and look after getting certified themselves so they can also keep that portion of the fund going strong.
And then I was exercise science major for 4 semesters, and then my mom is actually a certified personal trainer as well. So she's had that for like 10 years now. So I've kind of grown up in the atmosphere promoting overall health, and I've been doing it from a young age as well. So I'm eventually going to get certified too when I find the time for it.
I yield.
Any other questions? Senator Allen.
You said that you guys may be looking to compete against other schools. Are you guys looking to be funded by SA?
Eventually, down the road, but at this time right now, we just want to gain recognition and network ourselves so we can gain a strong basis of weightlifters here at NIU, and then we'll see what becomes of it. I mean, having foresight right now, I think this is going to be a big thing. But right now, we just want to make it an attractive offer for people to want to weightlift with the club.
Any other questions? Seeing none, you may step down. All those in favor of approving SAB 44014 say aye. Aye. Opposed? Seeing none, this bill is passed. I will ask the treasurer of the Student Association to come up and speak on SAB 44018.
Good evening, Senators. Good evening. I'll try to be quick since we've been here quite a bit. This is kind of piggyback off the bill that I presented a couple meetings ago. At that time, we voted on a few reductions in our spending for some of our accounts. The bill you have before you is the reasons that we needed to make those reductions. These are some of the things that were left out of the fiscal 13 budget for whatever reason, and those are things that we need to make up. I'll just go through each one. Campus Security Fund, that was originally supposed to be an additional $30,000, but we worked with finance facilities to get that reduced. So that's only $20,000 to go in the security fund. Our general transportation fund is $20,000 a year. It says transportation for sports groups. Last year, Austin and Elliot worked out an agreement with the rec center to fund our sports clubs through the rec center this year. The amount that was agreed on for that was about, I think, $128,000 total. So that $82,000 is the additional amount that we need to get to that amount that was agreed upon. Our departments, $38,000 needs to be allocated to them because salaries were reduced at the end of last year for this year's budget, and we can't reduce their salaries, so that money needs to be made up. And finally, for student organizations, there were 2 that were left out of the fiscal year 13 budget that were supposed to be included. They were approved by Finance Committee, but for whatever reason, they weren't included in the budget that was sent to the Senate last year. Women's Rights Alliance was the first, and they're to be allocated $1,217. The second is the Volleyball Club, and they're to be allocated $3,783 for the total of $5,000. I'm sorry you guys don't have copies of those budgets. If anyone would like to see them, I can provide you guys copies of those this week. With that being said, do you guys have any questions?
Senator Gordon.
Exactly what is everything that's included in the general transportation?
The general transportation fund is just basically the fund that groups go to apply if they wish to travel anywhere. It used to be that groups applied for transportation just in their overall budget for the year. Last year was the first year that we introduced the transportation fund, so groups were looking to travel either to conferences, to just different events. If our sports clubs are looking to travel to competitions, things like that. The Forensics Club is another one that does a lot of competitions. If they're looking to make those travel arrangements, they apply through the transportation fund to pay for their travel and their lodging.
Do you yield? Any other questions for the treasurer? Seeing none, sit down.
Thank you, guys.
All those in favor of approving, sorry, discussion debate, I'm sorry. Any discussion debate on this topic? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving SAB 44018, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This motion passes. Next, item F, SAR 44027, a resolution to appoint members to the Presidential Search Committee. What this is the President University, as we discussed a few weeks ago, has announced its retirement. How the appointment works is, per the SA Constitution and bylaws, the President of the Student Association makes appointments to university committees, and the Senate has to approve those or change them as they see. And then so there's two seats that are open that the President appoints, and then there's one that the Senate directly appoints, not from within this body, but a member of the graduate school that's appointed and approved by this body as well, in consultation with them. It has to be a grad student. So we have not gotten that yet, the grad student one, but the President did send the two recommendations that he had for his portion of it. That's that. The President's not here. Do I have any discussion or debate? Senator Johnson.
I want to amend SAR 44027 by removing Kara Brock from the Presidential Search Committee, replacing the spot with the member from the Senate.
Okay. That motion is ordered. All in favor of approving that amendment, say aye. One second. I'm going to consider that motion out of order, and what I will do is move item SAR 44027 and send it back to the President, and we can have that done through rules of procedures. Next, we're going to move to item G, SAR 44028, a resolution to elect a new speaker. As you may know, my time at this university is coming to an end in a few weeks, thankfully. And that means that we need to elect a new speaker. And the reason why I moved this up is I would like to get someone in here that the election will be next week. That person still won't take over until the end of the semester, but that way we have that person picked, and we can spend a lot of time getting them ready and getting them up to speed on all the things that go with this wonderful position. So at this time, we're going to open it up for nominations. If you would like to be nominated, you have to be nominated by one person. I don't think it has to be seconded. It's nominated. So nominations are going to be open at this time. So all in favor of any nominations? We'll take it one at a time. Senator Brady.
I nominate Mike Theodore for the become speaker.
Okay. Senator Theodore, do you accept?
Yes.
Senator Theodore. Any other nominations? Senator Strong.
I nominate Brian Troutman.
Mr. Troutman, do you accept? Senator Goldman.
I nominate Chad Harris.
Mr. Harris, do you accept? Any other nominations? Senator Allen.
I nominate James Alford.
Senator Alford, do you accept? Yeah. I don't think we've had that. Senator Burke.
I nominate Senator Zanya.
Senator Zanya, do you accept? Any other nominations? Check with each other. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, at this time, the following people have been nominated for the position of Speaker of the Senate: Senator Zanya, Senator Alford, Senator Theodore, President Pro Tempore Troutman, and Senate Clerk Chad Harris. Any other nominations? Okay. There's no vote on this. We'll actually vote on the amendment or on the resolution next week. So those are your candidates for Speaker, and I'm going to list them off one more time for you. Senator James Alford, Senator Mike Theodore, Senator Alford, Senator Theodore, Senator Zanya, Brian Troutman, and Chad Harris are your candidates for Speaker. So that is that. Consider that one and vote on it next week. Do we have any announcements? Yes, Senator Clark.
Just a quick reminder, if anybody has any
Senators, this is an issue I want to bring up to you real quick while we're doing this. We have a problem where people start packing up right when we do this. I would ask that you defer packing anything up or putting things away until after we finish the final vote at the end, because it gets very loud and it's hard to understand the recordings. So please wait until the final roll call vote has been taken and the meeting is adjourned before you pack up, please. Any other announcements? Seeing none at this time, I will ask the clerk to call the roll. Or, excuse me, a motion. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Ellsworth.
Aye.
Senator Dunn.
Aye.
Senator Goldman.
Aye.
Senator Hannon. Senator Cagle.
Aye.
Senator Spells.
Aye.
Senator Strong.
Aye.
Senator Wiggins. Senator Burke.
Aye.
Senator Gordon.
Aye.
Senator Phillips.
Aye.
Senator Pooler.
Aye.
Senator Scritchlow.
Aye.
Senator Steele.
Aye.
Senator Wellington.
Aye.
Senator Adetunji.
Aye.
Senator Allen.
Aye.
Senator Clark.
Aye.
Senator Follo. Senator Smith.
Aye.
Senator Smith.
Aye.
Senator Stratton. Senator Theodore.
Aye.
Senator Brady.
Aye.
Senator Fischello.
Aye.
Senator Gonzalez.
Aye.
Senator Johnson.
Aye.
Senator Methapara.
Aye.
Senator Timber.
Aye.
Senator Tom.
Aye.
Senator Zaned.
Aye.
Senator Beltran.
Aye.
Senator Chuckajoe.
Aye.
Senator Cherney.
Aye.
Senator Domke.
Aye.
Senator Frank.
Aye.
Senator Shockey. Speaker Quick.
Aye. At this time, I call the meeting adjourned. Before I do, remember, if you want to help out this Wednesday or tomorrow, please see me. Any candidates that have been nominated and accepted their nomination, please see me as well at this meeting. Meeting is adjourned.